Hello everyone, welcome back to another recipe. So in today's video, I am going to be baking some chicken pies. I had a craving for particularly the pies they bake at King Pie. So for the longest time, I've been trying to figure out how they achieve the layers within the pie, and I found out that that's called puff pastry. So I was really trying to go for that puff pastry pie vibe, and therefore I went on YouTube to follow some recipes. I will be linking the videos I used in the description box as a reference. So let's get started. These are the ingredients for the dough, and this recipe makes about 15 round pies. Place all of your dry ingredients in one large bowl, starting with your flour, and then your salt, and then your baking powder. Go ahead and add the 2 sticks of butter into the mixture. I think I would have done this step differently because I shouldn't have let the butter melt to this point. As you will see soon, my crumbs came out a little finer. They had a finer texture than what I had seen in some of the recipes I followed. Gradually start adding the cold water as you mix the dough. And then when the dough starts to harden, slowly ease your way into kneading the dough. Transfer the dough to a flat surface sprinkled with flour and then knead for about 10 to 15 minutes. Place the dough back into a greased bowl and then cover the bowl with some saran wrap or a kitchen towel. Transfer the bowl into the fridge and let it sit while you prepare the filling. These are the ingredients for the filling, and if you enjoy ASMR, the next clips are for you. After chopping your potatoes, add them to a pot and let them boil for about 5 minutes on medium to high heat. Add just half a teaspoon of salt. Yep, another ASMR for my ASMR lovers. Wash the chicken with a little bit of some lemon juice. The lemon actually helps to remove some of that chicken smell. Place your chicken into a small pot and then add a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of the garlic powder. Add just half a cup of hot water. Give it a good stir and let the mixture boil for about 7 to 10 minutes on low to medium heat. After the chicken has been boiling for about 7 to 10 minutes, remove it and drain the water, but do not throw the water out. Transfer the chicken along with the ginger and garlic into a blender and grind it until it looks almost like tuna fish. I didn't really keep track of how long my dough spent in the fridge, but I'm sure it was more than 30 minutes. So at this point you take it out and then start rolling it. and we're going to apply our different layers of butter. But I'm going to warn you, the way I did it honestly was I don't know, but I was trying to copy a recipe that this lady was doing, and of course the way I did it, my butter was really melted, like, but the way she did it, her butter was like way colder. So I would definitely advise that you go with her method. I guess I was just doing it the lazy way, but although it turned out fine, I probably would do it like that the next time. It's just that that process, the one the lady is using, is a completely different process. It takes more time. So essentially what she's doing is that she's placing the butter on top of the dough, and then she covers it, and then I guess like beats the butter into the dough, and then she folds it and then puts it back into the fridge, and then removes it, does the whole same process, that like rolling it out, and then she folds it and then puts it back. I think she does that about like 4 or 5 times. But yeah, it's a whole process that I was totally not prepared for. As you can see, mine got a little messy because like I said, the butter was melted. But that's essentially what creates the layers within the puff pastry. Anyway, so I just did this once and put it back into the fridge. And then now we're gonna go ahead and start preparing the filling. So you're going to add 3 tablespoons of oil into a pan, and after it's hot, you put the chopped jalapeños, carrots, and onions in there. Then add a teaspoon of turmeric, add half a cup of hot water, and then cover the pan so that it fries for about 4 minutes on medium heat. After 4 minutes, add the chicken, garlic, and ginger mix, and then give it a good stir. The next step you can do either way. You can add the potatoes before the pepper, or you could do it like I did it, the pepper before the potatoes. It doesn't really matter. So at this point, I rinsed out the juice that was left in the blender, and I put it into the mixture because we're going to need all the moisture we can use. And then at this point, also add the chicken stock. That is the leftover water after boiling the chicken. So the next step is to add the spices, and this step is totally up to you. You can spice up your pie to your liking. You can add any other additional spices you would like to. I added thyme, red pepper, black pepper. Everything is on the list. Now, I'm not going to lie, this does not look any bit appetizing, but trust me when I say it tasted absolutely amazing. Then the last step was to add a tablespoon of flour. I saw a lot of recipes do this, so I was like, well, why not? So after it has cooked for about, actually I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how, I wasn't tracking how long it was on the stove for, but just move it to the side so that it can stop cooking, and cover it so that the juices don't evaporate. And then finally, the final step of the dough. So this is the final step the dough has to go through its last rolling before you can start cutting out the pie shapes. So apologies, I did not have a pie cutter, so I had to improvise, and I used a blender. I used the bottom of a blender. I sprinkled some flour on top of the dough just so that it won't stick on each other when I stack them on top of each other. This is the final step in the whole process, aka also my favorite part because it was the least most tedious step of the process. So make sure to grease the pan you'll be using to place the pies. And then I started by putting the filling, and then I used some cheddar cheese, and then I placed the second part of the dough. And then I used a fork to press the pie dough together. I did not have a kitchen brush, so I just used the fork to wash the egg and milk mixture onto the pies. I think using a spoon would have been better. pies into the oven on 375 Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. And there you have it. Your king pie is look-alike. This whole process, I'm not gonna lie, took forever. It took me about 4 to 5 hours to do, but I will say it was worth it. I mean, it's something you can do once in a while. These pies absolutely tasted amazing. They tasted better than the first pies I did because the dough was soft, and I could also see the layers within the pie. So as you can see the different layers within the pie, and this is exactly what I was going for. Please feel free to leave your comments and suggestions in the comment section, and I'll also be leaving the ingredient list in the description box. As usual, thank you so much for watching.